Hello everyone, my name is Bankole by Fernanda and I so welcome you to my scratch tutorials. Please, I want you to look at my other channels too. I really welcome you and I'm very happy that you are listening to this. Please subscribe to this channel because you're going to see so many YouTube videos. And please click the like button, put a comment down below, and I want you to turn on your notifications so that if there is any notification, any new video, you'll be alerted immediately. So please follow me on YouTube. So let's get straight to the point. I welcome you, and this is the tutorial for the maze game. I made a new tutorial maze game. I've been practicing for this for like 2 days now, and I got it. Now, my scratch tutorial 5, the last one, I told you that I'm preparing a football game. Yes, I'm going to prepare that, but I find that I should do something else for now. That later I'm going to do the football game, that which I refer to you as the best. It may not be the best, people may have done something better than that, but I think it's going to be best because I'm going to be joining many things together. That there's going to be a goalkeeper, there will be players, there will be so many things, people, there will be noise background, the way people talk and the way people do sing during the football, there's going to be there. So this is a maze game. This maze game is going to be totally wonderful. You understand very well. There are going to be many, I think there will be many levels, and also you don't have to draw the maze yourself. Scratch, you draw it. We will program Scratch to draw the maze itself. So let's get straight to the point. Please don't forget to go to my other videos. Please, let's get straight to the point without wasting any time. So the first thing we're going to do now is to name this Scratch project. We are going to name our project Maze Game. There we go, Maze Game. So there we go. So now the next thing we are going to do is we are going to go to, so this is part 1 of the maze game. There's going to be another part. So the first thing you're going to do is going to delete this cat sprite. You delete the cat sprite and then you go to your black backdrops. Yes, the backdrops. And here we are going to fill the entire screen with pure black. So we go to our fills and we turn it to pure black. So you make the color 0, the saturation 0, and the brightness 100. That is pure, and the brightness 25. You can make it 25, although you can make it something else. Okay, I'm sorry. I mean you're going to make it just pure black, sorry. That means color 0, saturation 0, and brightness 0. And then you can fill the whole place with pure black. So you can go to your, make a large square shape to fill the whole screen, and then you can, it's already in pure black. Yes, it's already in pure black. So this is just what we need. So this, we can name it black backdrop, or we could even, let's name it, let's name it black backdrop. There we go. So that is the first thing we're going to do. Now we go to our code, and the next thing we are going to do is to create a new sprite. So we paint a new sprite, and it's going to come up automatically. And let's name the sprite bounce. There we go, bounce. So the pen size, the pen size will be 40. it's a lot number, but you understand what we are going to do. You're going to understand what we are going to do. So the pen size 40, and the fill, the color is going to be 0, the saturation 0, and the brightness is going to be 25. There we go, 25. So we have done that, and what we are just going to do is go to our rectangle, which is over here, and we're going to so I'm sorry for the mistake. Sorry, the fill, we have no fill, so I'll just click on this here, and the outline is what is going to be that the color will be 0, the saturation will be 0, and the brightness will be, let's say, 25. There we go. And don't forget the pen size, which is over here, is going to be 40. So right here at the rectangle or square, we will now draw it right here such that it sits here in the middle of the square. So we're going to bring it inside the square. So we want to make it to sit inside the square. So this is in Sprite. So don't name the costume that. So just rename it to costume 1, and then in the Sprite you can name it here bounce. There we go. So this is what we have here. So want it to be, so when you're happy with that, you want it to be in the screen. So now you could just rename it to 0, x0, and y0, so that's gonna be at the middle. So you can see it just stays at the middle. So this is exactly what we want now. So we're going to make a new sprite, and the name of the sprite is going to be called maze. So we could just call it, we're going to name it maze, and this will be responsible for all the sprite drawing. So maze, that is going to be the name of sprite. I could just bring it in the first place. So now what are we going to do? So this is what we're going to do. The costumes we need, this number one, the costumes we need tile. Tile is the first costume we need. So what we are going to do now is to zoom up to when you can see like a handful, like this. So we can move it. There we go. Yeah, so this is good. So this is now an handful of the checkered green tiles. Now we're going to change a color to, so just remember that each grid tile is about 4 by 4 pixels in size. So we'll move on to the fill. Let's move on to the outline first, and the outline we need no color for now. So we're going to go to the fill, and the color is going to be 17. There we go. Try and make it exactly 17. There we go. The saturation is going to be 56. So yes, there we go. And the brightness is going to be 100 as it is presently. So this is color of our mix. This is the color of our mix. That is the color of our mix. So what we want to do now is to draw. So now we're going to draw a square that's going to be exactly 8 by 8 pixels in size. So 1 is 4 by 4 pixels. So this is what I mean by 8 by 8 pixels. Just make sure there's a rectangle So center it to the middle, make it 8 by 8. So there we go. So we could just take this and make sure it's in the middle until it snaps right in the middle. So this is 8 by 8 pixels. And after this, we are going to duplicate this star, which will be the second costume we'll need. So we're going to name this corridor. This is going to be named corridor. There we go. Make that. There we go. Corridor. So that is going to be the name of this sprite. So we're going to select this, and we're going to make it 5 grid squares long. 5 grid squares long. You understand what I'm meaning? So make sure it's not in the middle. You don't care whether it's in the middle or not. So 5 grid squares long. You can count the under to know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5 grid squares long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2. It's a rectangle that's 5 grid squares long. So that is what we need. I'm going to shift my own a little to the side. I want to make it exactly 5 grid squares long. So that is 5 grid squares long. So you don't need that to be in the middle, which means you should not center it. So the outline is going to be, the color, it will be 0, the saturation 100, and the brightness 100. That's what we need for it to be. So to understand how the sprite is being drawn, we're going to add a thin red, we'll go to our lines and add a thin red arrow pointing in right direction. That's what we're going to do. So just a little red arrow, so we won't get confused. So I could just go snap it in. So just to understand the way the sprite is going to be, so we're going to snap it in the middle, the center. There we go. So that is what we are going to do. That way, just. So now we're going to move to code and click the extension. So we're going to go to the extension right over here at the bottom left. So the extension we're going to pick, we want the sprite. We want the sprite to draw. We want it to draw the maze itself. So we'll not start wasting time on drawing things like that. So we're going to click on pen, and it's going to add in. There we go. These are the pen blocks. So now it's time to code. So we're going to be coding the maze, not the bounds. The bounds, but we're going to be coding the maze. Just look here to see that. So that is what we are going to be coding. So what we are going to do is we're going to go to our event block and bring out a when flag clicked block. Then we go to our pen and click on erase all. So when the flag is clicked, it will erase all. So we then go to our variables. What we are going to do is we are going to delete this my variable. So we're just going to delete the my variable and make a new variable. And the name of the variable, this is for all sprites, and the name of the variable is going to be tile size. That is the name of the variable for all sprites. Okay, click on OK, and that is it. So what we are going to do is we want to scale from current. 12 pixels to become 40 pixels because there are 12 pixels in our costumes of the maze. So now what we're going to do is to bring out this set tile size to, we go to our operators. So we want to do the maths now, the maths concerning this. We want it to be 40 pixels, but presently there are 12 pixels. So I want to do the maths now. So what we want to do is to set size, which is the tile size. So we're going to set the tile size to 40. So we're first going to set the tile size to 40. So afterwards, what we want to do is to go to our looks, and we're going to bring out a set size to 100. Size 100. Let me just put this at 0 and this at 0. There we go. So we're going to set the tile size to this, but we want to change it because we set the tile size to 100%, and what happened is this is 12 pixels, so 12 pixels, this sprite, but we want it to be 40 pixels. So what we want to do is the maths behind it. We're going to go to our operators and we're going to pick the divide sign, because if we set size 100, means 100 divided by 12 is going to be 1. It means that because we set the size to 100%, so we're just going to write here 100, and over here we're going to write 12. So there we go. So we're going to put it in here, and we are going to multiply that by tile size. So bring this out and bring multiplication sign over here and put this at the first space there, and we're going to multiply it by tile size. So we go to our variables and pick out tile size, and tile size is 40. So instead of writing 40, you can say tile size, which is 40. So we just made it 40 from 12. So when we click the flag, we want this sprite to go to 0, 0, which makes x 0 and y 0. So we're just going to go to our motion. I've already set it to 0, so it's going to be appear here. So go to x 0, y 0, which is in the middle, and we want it to point in direction. But we have to make it to point in direction. It can't go to random position. So point in direction 90 times. We're going to point in direction 90. So we're going to go to our operators again and bring out the multiplication as we did in the set size 2. So this will be 90. There we go. And we're going to pick random because we want it to be, when we click want it to point in 90 direction, like maybe to face 90, 180 and things like that. So we're going to want to point in that direction 90 times. It's going to pick random 1 to 2. So let's test it out. Zoom it in for you guys to see. Let's test it out. So okay, it became bigger. Yes, that's what we need. So if I click the go, it continues changing to 90, all the ones the 90. It's just doing like this on my own. Later it's actually here. It's going 90 directions, but it's going to pick random, so anything it will pick its own. So that's what we have here. So now we're going to do something that is very enjoyable, which is we're going to make a block. So we're going to make a custom block. So we go to my blocks, and it's over here on top of this place, on top of your pen, and click on make a block. So the block name is going to be named drum maze. So drum maze. Okay, that's all we need. So it's going to appear as defined drum maze. Let's bring it here, and yes, we bring it to this other side. Be careful when you're bringing your Sprite side, you don't go and put it here, or else you just vanish. Your blocks. So define draw maze. So let's put this draw maze under all this code first. So now let's code. So what we are going to do is we will put switch to costume corridor. So we made a costume named corridor. Someone to switch to costume corridor is already there. So switch to costume corridor, and we go to our pen and pick stamp. We want it to draw something, so stamp. And afterwards you're going to move 10 steps on that. So we want it to move certain steps, and that the tile size is 40. So we're going to move the tile size steps. So you just go to our variables and bring out the tile size. There we go. Whatever is under it, what was there won't matter at all. Just put it in there. Move tile size steps. And then we go to our motion and pick a turn right. We're going to put this one, turn right 15 degrees, and we are going to go to our operators and do another mass. So 90. So what we just need is just to duplicate this. We just need this same thing over here. Okay, can you see what happened? Okay, there we go. So we're going to change this from pick random. I'm sorry for the background noise. So we're going to pick random -1 to 1. So there we go. So 90 times pick random -1 to 1. So what we are going to do is to put a draw maze on there. We go to my blocks and put in a draw maze. So now let's run this script. Can you see that? It's just moving anywhere it sees space. It's even drawing on top this way. You can see the lines, but we don't want that. We need something else. So what we are going to do now is we need to, it's just drawing the maze anyhow it wants to. So we need to change it and put some bounds in the drawing of maze and control its drawing. So we go to our controls and we pick an if then over here into the draw maze. So we don't want it to touch the bounds. We don't want it to touch itself too. So we're going to say go to our sensing too. So touching over here, touching bounds. So let's try that out. Okay, sorry, it is not touching. If you're meant to put first, you're going to put not. So it's not meant to be touching. So which means when he it touches it, it will not draw the maze unless it doesn't touch the bounds. So that's why here we're going to put not touching bounds. So let's try that out. So can you see, this is the bound. This is the bound right here. That is the bound. So as you can see it, look at this. When it touches the bounds, it won't draw. So not touching bounds, then you will not draw. Which means when it's not touching the bounds, it will not draw. So exactly. So let's correct this. So it won't draw if it's touching the bounds. And we also don't want it to touch the maze, so that they will not collide with each other, because maybe it gets to a point where it doesn't see anywhere to go. So what we're going to put now, not touching bounds, or so we're going to extend this touching with an or. So we pick an or from here and put the touching bounds into it and bring it up here. So we don't also want it to I mistakenly removed the knot. So we also want the knot to be there. So there we go. So not this. So what we want to do now, we also don't want it to collide with itself, because to not cross over itself. So exactly what we're going to do. So we don't also want to touch its color. So we're going to say touching color. So you're going to pick a color. I'm going to teach you how to pick a color for those that are new and don't know how to touch a color. So I'm going to click this color here, and look at this. We cannot really we know the exact way. We know I showed you the color that you're meant to put. You can just go to costumes and check. But let me tell you and show you an easier, better way to do it. You're going to click on this place here, and everywhere becomes black. So when you come here, you will see all these. So whatever this circle over here, this circle color is. For example, I bring it here, it becomes black. If I make that square thing touch red, the circle becomes red. So whatever that, so put it anywhere, whatever that can you see? Whatever that circle, whatever that square touches will be the color. So you click on it. That is what we want. So there we go. But I can see something. This is 55. But if I go to my costumes, I go to my fill, it is 56 that's here. The saturation, the color is 17 and the saturation is 56. It's because I found that something was wrong with that. So this touching color, I'll make the color, I want to make it exactly the same thing. 17 and 56. There we go. That is what the color we want. It's just almost the same thing. So let's try that out. So it is still touching itself. So it's not meant to be acting like that. So I think it's because I changed it to 17 and 56. I think it's meant to be that color, the color picker. So there we go. So 16 and that. So that is the color. So you will now see it will stop immediately after click. So I knew that's the way it's meant to be. So it's going to be stopping immediately, but we don't want that. And I'm going to show you the reason. You can see this. You can see presently that this is touching already. If I remove this, you can see that these colors are already touching, because this is not the full of this. This is not the full. It started from here. You can see this color is already touching this color. That is why it is behaving like that. So we have to create a special sensing block. So we need a special one to be able to take care of that. So we're going to go to our control blocks and bring out a repeat block and put it right here and make it 4. There we go. So what you want to do now is to go to your motion of the sprite and pick this. Turn Yes, degrees. So what we're going to put it under this line block. So under the if blocks, immediately under the if block. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to bring it on this place, and so what we want, you can access to repeat 4 times. So if this thing is working this way, we want it to turn 90 degrees so that it will not stop immediately. So let's test this out, and you will see it is misbehaving. We're going to correct that. So to correct this, what we're going to do is to go to our costumes of this maze. What we're going to do is going to duplicate this, and we can name it detector, because it's going to be detector Sprite. Good. So there we go. The name is detector. So what we want to do presently is just to delete this. Backspace. We want to delete this out. We don't need it now. So we're gonna make it 2 grid squares long. So we just make it 2 grid squares. You understand the meaning of 2 grid squares? This is what 2 grid squares means. So we do not need an outline, so we're just going to go to outline and make it new color. Okay, we just come here and when we do that, I want to make the color. So yes, that what we need. So I want to remove that away. So what we want to do presently, if we want to, so we're going to color this block red. I'm going to color it the detector red. So the color, the field is going to be 0, color is 0, the saturation 56. Yes, we need the saturation to be 56, and the brightness 100. So this is the color of the detector we want. So we're just going to go to our fields and color this. So that is how the detector is going to look like. So you have named the costume detector. So now you can go back to the code and you can switch to the detector costume before we perform the touching sensing. Go back to the code. So which means we're going to go to our loops and say switch to costume detectors over there already. We'll put it on top of this place, and then let's test the code. Can you see that it's not working? Okay. Now can you see that? Let me try that to run that again. Okay. Can you see the problem here? Can you see what this means? When it is colliding, can you see it's colliding with itself? That's what's happening here. It's colliding. Like, what happened is this. The detector is doing the right thing. Yeah, it's good. But when the sprite gets to a certain place, the sprite does not know where to go. So it just goes like, I've gotten to a place. I must not touch myself, but I don't know where to go. Can you see that? But because it doesn't know where to go, what we need to do is not to code it. That when it gets to a place where there has no place to go, that it should program itself to go back from where it's coming from, go to another place, and when it sees space, it should move on. So that's what we want to code. Okay, so this is the end of part 2. This is the end of part 2. We're going to continue